I've been coming across a lot of talk lately amongst the CEO groups I speak with about B2B marketing versus B2C, business to business versus business to consumer. But more and more from where I sit, and right now it's here in Detroit, Michigan, I think marketing in 2016, as we look forward to a whole new calendar, is going to be less about B2B or B2C or any label you want to throw on it, business to government or to nonprofit. I think more and more as 2016 approaches, we're going to have to move towards H to H, human to human in all of our marketing efforts. And the guy who's really inspired a lot of this thought, even more than he knows, is a guy from my hometown in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. His name is Yves Doucette, and Yves ostensibly runs a B2B organization called Dovico. They make timesheet software, but I was so fascinated back in October to learn that Yves has been posting very spontaneous videos on Facebook and other social media platforms, and I think the most appealing part of these videos is that he's not talking at all about his program, his products, his services. He's just sharing some very personal and introspective thoughts, if you will. Well, Yves Doucette, well, in fact, before I go on and on, how about I just show you an example? Here's what I mean. I found this one very early in my search, and let's roll that video of Dovico CEO Yves Doucette.
I take the bus to work most days because it keeps me humble. And that's very important to me. I don't want to be measured by my house. I don't want to be measured by the car I drive. I want to be measured by the contribution I bring, by how meaningful I am. And that's very important to me. See, we live in this hero society. We're looking for this person who has become the hero, the Iron Man, the Superman, right? The quarterback star. We're looking for this hero. So we build up this story about how we've risen from our garage to stardom. And that's a fallacy. I was nominated for an award recently, a CEO award. And I was wondering, I was thinking about that, what does that mean to me? Am I that CEO? Am I that hero? No, I'm not. You see, I don't answer the phone. I don't do the coding, the software. I don't do the marketing. I don't do the sales. I don't do finance. I don't do support. Well, what do I do? That's the question, isn't it? What do I bring to this equation? And I think I've figured it out, at least for now. What I bring is I build an innovative community. That's what I do. Once in a while, I'll do a little strategy. And once in a while, I may even have a good idea. And that's my contribution to make us a success. That little piece. If I'm honored enough to accept an award, I will do it because I'm part of the team, not because I have that title, not because I think I do all those things, not because I think I'm a hero, but rather because I contribute, and I will accept it on their behalf. See, sometimes it's easy to get hooked on, I'm the house or I'm my car. But I think if you dig deeper, and it's, who are you, and what is your talent? And that's what I'm looking for. I ride the bus to work to keep me humble, to make sure that I recognize what my contribution is. And that's important for me. Thank you.
So, if you see that Yves Doucette video the same way I do, you see him personifying what I call this H2H form of communication, human to human. It's about a real connection with a real person, and just so happens that I had a chance to actually catch up with Yves. Our travel schedules took us, of all places, to Toronto earlier this week, and so let's go one-on-one and find out more about the story behind the new face of Yves Doucette on this edition of the Reinvention Chronicles. Yves Doucette, you are the president CEO of Dovaco, and you are really a trendsetter among CEOs in not only New Brunswick and Canada, but all over North America, fulfilling this philosophy that we've been talking about lately about bringing a more human voice and face to the digital space. And so we're so fascinated by what you're doing with these videos you've been posting on YouTube and on Facebook, and tell us about a little bit about how you got into posting these videos and what they're all about.
Okay, so first of all, we don't have titles at Dovaco, so CEO is not used. So I would prefer passionate bottle opener.
Okay.
So let's start with that. So I'm a passionate bottle opener. That's what I do. I do it very well. And I think people appreciate when I use that talent, and that's what I do. That's it. Okay, so why do I do videos? Is that the question?
Yeah,
Sure.
Exactly. What got you started on this?
Well, it started because I think social media has taken over the world, right? And we're in the software business. I thought, well, what better way to do it is to have everybody try it out. And I can't ask people to do something if I'm not doing myself. So I gave myself a challenge, 52 weeks, 1 video a week, just to post. But the unintended consequences of the video was really astonishing. It's not that I'm a great video guy. It's just, it was astonishing because what happened to me is I discovered who I was. Because when you do these videos, you have to be a little transparent, a little humble, and say, well, I'm not that good, right? So I discovered more about what I believe in and who I am, and I speak from the heart as much as I can. And when I started to do that more and more, well then people started to say, well, that's kind of curious, and they started to share it. I mean, people in the workplace. Mm-hmm. And I found that the more I do it, if I talk about something as simple as, how to do customer service, for example, and what I believe in, well then I don't have to train as much. I don't have to even hire the right guys because they come to us because they already know what we believe in.
I noticed that you were telling me earlier that two things have really been impacted as a result of these regular postings, this regular publishing schedule you're on, is that internal engagement, the discretionary effort is up, but
yes.
Also so is the quality of the applications of people looking to join your company.
Yes, I would say that on the first point, what happened is the culture has started to alter because people now understood why I was saying certain things. Now, for that to happen, you have to be it has to be from the heart. It has to be transparent. It can't be fake. And when you do these things and you're really from the heart, well, what happens is people start to understand what you stand for. And if they know what you stand for, then they'll work harder because they understand your purpose, right? And everybody wants to know what the purpose of the company. You can't be able to make money, it's something else, right?
I couldn't help but notice too in a lot of the videos that I've seen anyway, because we're friends on Facebook and
yes.
in real life,
yes,
right
true.
here.
Yeah.
But what I notice is that unlike a lot of, and you're in that quote unquote B2B space.
Yes.
And I don't think, as we were talking earlier, I don't think there's any more B2B or B2C anymore. I think it's all H to H. I think it's human to human.
Oh.
Okay? And so consequently, what I find fascinating is that you rarely, if ever, actually talk about your company, Dovaco, and the products you sell. Usually, your themes or subjects are something else altogether.
Because social media is not about selling. It's about communicating and connecting to human beings. So if you're trying to sell something, if you like my post, I'll give you a free pizza. Well, that's not going to work.
Right.
I'm buying your friendship. Like, that doesn't work. So you have to talk about something you care about, and then you'll start looking at people that say, "Oh, I care about that too." So then they'll join your clan, or they'll become your friends because they believe in what you believe in. So it's got to be really about something you stand for. It can't be about a one-way transaction. So if you do this, you'll come to my store. It can't be about business. It's got to be about the human connection.
I'm always interested to hear, and especially since we've never rehearsed this. We just met. Cab just dropped you off here, but so in that spirit, Yves, in a very human-to-human fashion, what would be the most significant story or event or feedback that you've received from posting these videos?
Oh, well, I measure my impact, or if I measure, the reason I keep doing it is people give me hugs. So if I get a hug, I'm good. The more hugs I get, the better the video. That's kind of where I get to. And if people say I like their video on this point, then I take note of that. So I just measure the thank yous. I measure the hugs. And as long as I measure the thank yous that I receive, I know I'm being beneficial to someone. And that's all that matters. And then I learn, okay, well, that's important. Maybe I'll talk about that next time. And it helps myself make focus. So to me, the biggest impact that I have is on myself and on my personal growth.
Well, it's wonderful work you're doing. If people want to follow you, Yves, how do they follow you?
Just friend me on just friend me on Facebook.com, Yves Doucette, and that's it. That's as simple as that. And I'll accept you.
He's Yves Doucette. He is literally changing social media, the social media landscape, one hug at a time, spreading the love, the human voice and face through the digital space here on the Reinvention Chronicles, and hoping these ideas inspire you to reinvent the business, the brand, the career that you deserve.